On May 9, 1963, President John F. Kennedy signed a proclamation designating May 15th of each succeeding year as Peace Officers Memorial Day, and in addition, named the week preceding May 15th as Police Week. Today, 58 years later, the El Paso Police Department celebrates its annual Police Week by beginning with a vigil in honor of our brothers and sisters here in El Paso and across this great nation who have made the ultimate sacrifice by giving their life in the fight for freedom and justice so that we may live a life of democracy, prosperity, and peace. My name is Assistant Chief Zena Silva, and I'm here with the El Paso Police Department Funeral Committee, Honor Guard, Bagpipe, and Drum Detail. Our mission is to provide appropriate honors for deceased active and retired sworn personnel and their families. In addition, we come together during Police Week to pay tribute to those who were lost in the line of duty. We also honor the family members who have suffered through the loss of their loved ones, to show them that the thin blue line is strong and will always be there for them, as they will always be a part of our police family. And we honor our promise that we will never forget. And these are their stories.
I came down to El Paso on vacation. I'm from Ohio. Came down on vacation and met my husband here. And we were friends for a short time. And I had to go back to Ohio. But before I went back to Ohio, he proposed to me. I knew Roger for 15 days from the time we met until we got married. We met in June or July, and we got married in September. But we knew immediately that we were the right ones for each other. He was a very dedicated person. He had wanted to be a policeman from the time he was little, and he served in Vietnam. And when he came back, he went right back on the force. He was on the force before he left, and came back and went right back on the force because that was his calling. When a policeman's wife has the doorbell ring at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, you know something's wrong. And I went to the door, and there stood Officer Akers, and he said, "Roger's been in an accident. You need to get dressed, and we need to go to the hospital." "Roger's gone, isn't he?" And he said, I didn't know what to say, because he said, I knew he was. The Assistant Chief of Police was Ted Vogel at the time, and he was my right hand for a long time. And he said, "Marilyn, you were prepared." And he said, "You did a good job." He said, "I know it's not easy," but he said, "You made it." And I said, "Well, it's because we discussed it. We talked about what might happen, and it happened." The department, I have to give 100% to, because from the minute they picked me up on the day Roger was killed, they have been there for me if I needed them. The police were always there for me. And I just felt like they were part of my family.
don't mind us smiling a lot.
No,
Because we're not very sad
This is
as a family.
We don't have to be about sadness.
And
Okay,
I
good.
smile when I get nervous too.
Yeah, we
so.
both do, but yeah, this.
And I'm glad for that.
Yeah.
People can see that there is the ability to feel happiness again.
Yeah.
You don't have to just be unhappy and sad and unable to
You
move
go through the
forward.
motions of it all, is what it is. You have to.
I'm Adrian Ariano Jr. and I'm his son.
And I'm Margaret Arellano, wife and mom. Well, full-time mama now. Yeah. 6 years ago last week was our fateful day. And 6 years seemed like 6 days. It doesn't progress. Time doesn't keep going. It freezes almost. But Adrian was and is, because we still speak of him in the present. We kind of, that's been our way of going through this, is he was and is still very constant present in our lives. He taught us many things in life that's helped us today.
My favorite memories of him are just lessons he would teach me, because he was able to make almost everything into a lesson. And I think, like she was saying, it's cool that he, at such a young age, was preparing me for the rest of my life. I mean, even today, I'll do something and I'll think back to how he taught me when I was 8 or 6. I think I would just want people to know that he really did care about other people a lot more than you might think he did. Like you were saying earlier, with at the rosary, people would come up to us, and it was people I had never known, and they would tell me how much my dad did for them, and how they he was a big part of their lives. And I think it's crazy how he would never come home and talk about all the great things he did. He would just do them. He didn't do it for the praise or for people to know. He just did it because it was the right thing to do.
You know, you guys put on that uniform and you guys go out there, and you guys know what you're doing this. It's the families who, you know, like, okay, well, there's a little bit of danger out there, but you guys still valuing him and remembering him, that his life wasn't, you know, take it for granted.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank everyone for being here this evening. I would also like to especially thank the supporting agencies' honor guard teams that are graciously participating in tonight's event. The Texas Department of Public Safety, the U.S. Border Patrol, El Paso Sector, Horizon City Police Department, the El Paso Fire Department, the ICE Honor Guard El Paso Field Office, the El Paso County Sheriff's Department, the El Paso Police Department's Honor Guard and Funeral Committee, and the Del Angel Funeral Home. Now more than ever, we must remain technically and tactically proficient. We must remain steadfast in serving our great citizens and our great communities, and remain professional in all that we do. Tonight we gather to honor the fallen that paid the ultimate sacrifice. We gather to pray for their families, and we gather to show our commitment that they will never be forgotten. May God bless you and forever watch over you, and may God bless your families. Thank you.
I was in T-ball, so him taking me to practice, him seeing me play the games, that was my biggest memory with him. Just that bond that we connected with sports. And so to this day, you know, sports is always a big part of my life because it helps me remember him. You know, now with my little son, taking him to his T-ball games, his practices. I could see his face. Like him sitting next to me. I remember the days before his shift, or the hours before his shift, he would be in the garage shining his boots. And I would sit next to him, just admiring what he was doing. And so now me, there I am, shining my boots. You know, after the hard days of work, go in, shine my boots, and get ready for the next day. You know, I always wanted to start a family. And so what I went through, I didn't want to put that on my kids. But after my older brother joined, I saw that pride he had in himself, and that pride that he passed on from caring for my father, from our father. And I was like, you know what? I want to continue it. I want to continue his legacy, his hard work, his name. And so the best way I could think of was like, you know what? Let me join the department. Let me do what he loved. I don't think there's anything that you can do to prepare for this. You know, you could tell yourself that, oh, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this, do that. But when that day comes, you feel like the world has ended. Everybody grieves different. So don't expect yourself to grieve one way or the other. Just know that you have family, you have friends that are there to help you. And as a department too, you know, there's plenty of officers that have gone through this. You know, for myself, you know, from a little kid to adults as my mother, where we're here to help you. You know, what the department is doing now for our fallen officers is great. Bringing families together, interacting with these other families to show them that there is support for us. There's support for them, from kids to, you know, to the grandparents. Talking to someone is always great. You know, you start balling things in, and it starts to build up and build up. And that's why I wanted to do this today, because I know as a kid, it's hard to talk to an adult, you know, about what you're feeling. So when I was 6, I didn't know what emotions to express. I didn't know what was going to become. You know, I could have gone one way or the other. So as I put on my uniform now, and I see kids, you know, that loses their father, their mother, just let them know that, hey, I went through this. We'll be okay. I'm here to talk, and we'll get through this together.